Special Collections is lucky to have had four major benefactors. The first was Edmond de Beer. He was a member of the Hallenstein family. De Beer collected in a whole range of materials, Locke, Evelyn, guidebooks, and he gave his collection certainly before he died in 1990. The second collector was Charles Brasch, and he was related to Edmond de Beer. We have Charles's entire library of 7,500 volumes, and it ranges from landfall editions that he particularly edited, as well as signed copies by Janet Frame and Baxter, whom he knew. The third is Charles's grandfather, Willi Fels. Willi Fels gave us about 1946 some 400 Italian books plus medieval manuscripts. And the fourth collector that gave materials to the collection was Canon William Shoults. Shoults never visited New Zealand, but his library came to Selwyn College and then transferred to the university. It's a fine collection of about 5,000 books, ecclesiastical, travel, science, philology. Great collections, and we are grateful to them all. Edmond was Dunedin born, and a fabulous independent scholar, well enough of Dunedin to give his books to us. Two major projects that Edmond de Beer was involved in was the diary of John Evelyn, and it's 6 volumes. When it actually was published and to great acclaim. De Beer not only did the diary of John Evelyn, but he also collected books by Evelyn, and this is an edition of Evelyn's Silver, a discourse of forest trees. And we have many other such works by Evelyn, including modern day books that we collect as well, that are a complement to the much older materials collected by De Beer. One of the other strengths of the De Beer collection is his guidebooks, and this is just one of 1628, which has not only a marvellous cover, but it has wonderful tipped-in or engravings of towns and cities of Italy within, profusely illustrated. And so we collect guidebooks as well, based on the collection of De Beer. Charles Brasch died in 1973, and about that time his papers went to the Hocken Library, while we got his book collection, about 7,500 volumes. And Brasch, he collected everything from Chinese materials, Italian, poetry, modern day verse. He also edited Landfall, and this is number 80. This is the last one he edited, and this one has the wonderful tipped-in page signed by almost everybody in New Zealand at the time, congratulating him and honouring his dedication to literature and the arts in New Zealand. Brasch not only collected his books and did the editing of Landfall, but he also wrote, and he was primarily a poet. He wanted to be remembered as a poet, and so these are a number of his works produced by the Caxton Press. He also started his autobiography called Indirections, and this was published after his death, and also a series of essays called The Universal Dance, produced by Otago University Press. One highlight of the Shoults collection is that there are 27 incunables. Those books are printed before 1501, and this particular edition is one of the best of Shoults's because it contains an example of early English binding, the rude hunt binders of Oxford, and this is one of 26 examples around the world. And inside this commentary on the Bible there are the typographic arrangements of the text, which is marvellous, and this book also has small samples, fragments of indulgences printed by William Caxton. So this is a pretty important book, and it's 1481 it was printed in Venice, but bound by an Oxford binder. Other pieces in Shoults's collection is the landmark editions, like this particular book, which is by Bacon, His Advancement of Learning. A bit battered, its cover is off, but there's the marvellous frontispiece and title page of Bacon's The Advancement and Proficiency of Learning of the Partitions of Science, and this is 1640, so this too is in the Shoults collection. Just before Willi Fels died in 1946, he gave the Special Collections a number of his books, and this is one Italian book that he gave, and it's a Dante of 1570. This here is the rather delicate edition of Dante's works. Some parts of it have been repaired. Marvellous engravings. One of the other items that Fels gave to Special Collections was medieval manuscripts, and this is a small example of a breviary, all handwritten on skin, rubrications of blue and red, and a bit of gold lettering, a very fine 15th century medieval manuscript. Within Special Collections we've got quite a number of first editions of the poet Swinburne, and this is a marvellous copy of Songs Before Sunrise, which once belonged to Willi Fels.